It was written by I cannot say his first name.
Yeah.
The second name is Brzezinski. Yeah, and I think he's he's probably the number one. Well, I mean, very very high foreign policy advisor for American presidents, like from Reagan to Clinton to Bush to Obama. He's been very very influential in the last 20-30 years of American foreign policy. He wrote this book called The Grand Chessboard, which is about Eurasia, and it is about the strategic importance of Eurasia to America and how America is very much trying to control Eurasia because of the oil, basically, because the oil and the gas, Caspian Sea, the Middle East, it's very important resources, and so I think America has a lot of fear that China and Russia will come together, or Russia and Europe will come together, because if Eurasia was to unify, there would be a control of the oil in the center, and so I think America has been very. I mean, not this is not my opinion. I'm saying this is from the book. The book is saying that America's role is to maintain control of Eurasia, and I think it's something that people maybe don't know about. People maybe are not so aware. I mean, it's interesting when you watch the news and you always see the American president and the American foreign policy always very involved, very diplomatic, very much involved in the activities of what is happening here, and there is a reason for that. But the song United States of Eurasia is kind of like it's supposed to be like an ironic song. It's like ironic, saying it's like kind of saying, oh, there's a fantasy of let's have a fantasy of peace where we make Eurasia unified, but in the process of making Eurasia unified, you end up with a big, even bigger monster than America, So it's kind of like a sort of paradox in the song, I think we are trying to mix both elements, really. I mean, obviously, I think we like the raw energy and the kind of the excitement of rock music, but also I like the history of music from Europe. The European history of music, both classical and folk music. I think it's important to not let this be lost. Because I think there's some great evolution that took place in the history of European music. I mean, a very high level of intelligence involved in some of the music of the classical music, and I think it's just very important to not let this be forgotten, because it's some of it is very great music, I think. I think it's wanted the theme to be. I mean, lyrically, the theme is kind of like, as I said, like a love story with a political backdrop. So it's kind of like the feeling of two people against the world in some way. I think that's kind of the theme of the album. But musically, I think we were very open. I think we did not have any fixed ideas. We just sort of entertained whatever we thought was appropriate for that particular song, production-wise.
Why did you get the idea of a symphony in 3 parts?
Well, there's bits and pieces of that music that have been around for a long time. I've been playing on the piano, but I never really found a way to make it work within Muse. But when we're making this album, we just came up with some drum ideas and so we decided to have a go. And I think I'm glad we did it. It's kind of like a gamble, like a little bit of a risk, but I thought on the 5th album we can try something. I think it's the kind of thing that I think if you listen to it and watching the news, I think it works. It's a good soundtrack to the news. I think naturally this album came more down to earth, came more direct. But I think mainly because of what's been happening in England has had quite an impact on me, and I think it's the first time that something really direct has had an influence on me like that. Something that I feel like I need to say something about that. I think the first song is kind of very much about that. So I think that's why that has happened, really, because I've been paying more attention to what is actually happening, as opposed to just fantasy stuff.
It's also because you don't live there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. It's a strange coincidence, but I think sometimes when you move away from your country, maybe you feel more strong, about something that you miss.
And does it change something in the relation between you three?
Regarding, you mean living separately? No, not really, because, well, I mean, I think it would if it wasn't for the fact that we work so much. I mean, we still probably spend more time with each other than we do with our own families, So we see each other so much, you know. We see each other on tour, in the studio, you know. I mean, it's sometimes too much. So I don't think when we are not working, I think we could be anywhere. It doesn't matter, you know, because we spend so much time. I think maybe, you know, if we were working less, then it probably would have an impact because you would not see each other for maybe many months. But we still see each other every week, and we have seen each other probably every week or every 2 weeks for many years. You know.
Okay,
Next one.
finish with the first. Yeah,